Good morning, everyone. It was a little cool this morning to start with, but the day's warming up nicely. It's supposed to be up around 80. Probably see a little more with the sun as bright as it is, but we got a front coming in and it's supposed to have some rain, so I'm looking to get the potting soil all mixed up and put away and empty my wheelbarrows and all. But I have pretty much got everything moved in to the greenhouse. I'm going to try to rework that poor baby. That's the golden dewdrop bush, and it blooms blue. That was one of the cuttings that I had rooted that was off of a stem that had blue flowers, and it's the only thing I think that I've got. No, there's a shrimp plant over there that I still need to see about taking care of, but other than that, I have about got everything put in. I'm going to do some rearranging, and I've still got a lot of repotting to do here. And usually the potting soil I put up under the shelves, and this one over here, I've got room to put some under there, but I've got to move the plants to where I can get back in there to put it in. So anyway, there's still some things that have to be weeded and some cuttings that I've taken that I want to get rooted. I had a friend stop by yesterday and pick some of the peppers. There's still a few on there, and I had picked a pretty good bucket full the other day that I had used in my chili. Since being moved in, the ginger is the flowers on it, I reckon, with the humidity and the added heat from being in the greenhouse, has sure been nice. Poor little kratom, I've beat them to hell moving them in and out and around, and other things dragging, and I've ripped leaves and been munching on them whenever they fall on the floor and don't get too dirty. But I've left me a nice little walkway where I can get through it. Last couple of years it was so packed that I couldn't hardly turn around in the thing. I'd got the big mulberries in, and this big one here has got a blight fungus on it, so we're fixing to mix up some spray with plenty of neem oil and all in it, and I like to spray whenever I've got everything in and kind of situated, and make sure anything's not spreading from one plant to the other. And I didn't see any bugs. I had already sprayed pretty well for that before I ever started moving in, and so I hadn't noticed. But I was going to take some cuttings off of the babies before long. I hadn't noticed that one had gotten broke, but it's still hooked well enough that it's staying green. Of course, these will have to be moved, but that was whenever I think the last 2 winters. Last year, I don't think I turned the heaters on but 3 days, and I think it was the same the year before. It may have been 4, but anyway, with the alleys, I can easily move the kratums and the plants, far enough away that they won't get cooked from the heater. But some of the moringas have already got some new buds showing on them since I cut the tops back, and a few of them I was able to leave some on. And the hibiscus are just blooming well still. The little sour saps, I'd had them in the box so they'd stay wet and humidified, but they were looking like they thought they were going to drown, so I took them out yesterday. And some of these that I repotted, I set the pots in there to get wet good. My stevia under there, I still need to cut some more of it back, and got some new growth coming on the miracle fruit plant. Some of the little ones down there, whenever I'd moved them out, they sat in the sun one day and it kind of scorched a few of them, and I put them back under there, and they're looking a little better now. The pregnant onion has still got some flowers coming up and new shoots coming out. I hope I can take time off directly and get out here and clean out all these figs here. And I'll say I'm not going to try to cover them or anything else this year. Whatever happens to them happens. And got to clean out my goji berries and get them up near the front where I'll be able to water them. And I think I need to pick a few goji berries directly, but we're supposed to be down Monday morning to 37, and so without a doubt I'll see some frost, and my big moringa there will probably be gone, and the moringa in the garden. And my hibiscus, I've got to get out here and pick my blooms to save them. I hate that I'm going to lose my papayas, but I'm just not able to cover them, and not going to fight wind and with plastic and all that. And it's been fun with them and everything. I had thought I might try to cut one or two back, and well, this particular one, because that is the biggest one there, and I had thought to possibly try to save it, but I don't think I'm going to. Just let it be. But all of them are still just setting fruit to beat the band. And it's been a fun experiment, and I've learned something from it. There are some other varieties I've seen advertised that don't grow as large as those have and are suitable for pots, and I may eventually go back and save some of them or order one of those. This is the pink moonflower vine. I don't know if I'm saying that right still, but anyway, this is the way the seed does on them. And it makes little fuzzy things, and they get everywhere. And glad I finally found out what the name of it was, even if I don't pronounce it right. And over here was where I originally found the first one. This is one coming up here. It was originally, it would grow up this tree, and the squirrels would run across the headboard, but they wouldn't come down this tree because they didn't want to touch that vine. And I've taken pieces of it and laid it around where they go. I told my mother about it, that she ought to plant some. She had a lot of trouble with squirrels and the bird feeders. And the sassafras is one thing we have around here that does a winter color change, and it's really pretty. Some more of my hibiscus are blooming. This pink is always the first to have the flower open on it. My only aloe I have left anymore, and I have a dogwood over here that come up wild. I had a big one out next to the road, and whenever they paved the road, before they ever owned the land, they tore it up, and they did pay me for it, but it really pissed me off because I was going to try to move it and save it. It's one of those things the government can kind of do whatever they please. Loaded with blooms, but nothing open yet. And just all my hibiscus all over the yard. Monday morning they'll all be bit back, and found out last year that they don't, or well this spring anyway, that they don't come back from the root. This particular one, when they get bit back, they're dead, and that's it. And this year I am experimenting with the lemongrass. I have it planted all around and about, and I'd noticed yesterday, and if I'd have thought about it down at the gate, but these are my tea camellias here, and they're blooming. And then there's one that's I cut, whenever I cut the tree, I got it off of it, but I haven't moved the stumps and all yet. But anyway, those are the actual tea, as in what most of us drink is black tea, or you can make green tea or whatever out of it, but that's the actual tea camellias. And this is in the family with the camellias and all, but it starts blooming way earlier than any of the others and is gone, but the seed pod looks about the same, just smaller. I have 3 of them. The white was there by the pink, but I didn't see any. It's usually the last, and then it's the easiest for the frost to bite back. This is a peppermint. And the bees are enjoying it for sure. Walk back down here and see if I see a white. None open. This one the other day was open, And there's a bud there, but none that's open. And where I throw out the scraps and all, I've got 3 or 4 pineapples coming up there. I've just yesterday got the last of the pineapples that I had potted, and I'm not going to try to save them. Experiment and see if they'll last over the winter, and I doubt it. Anyway, that's what's going on here in South Georgia today. Got one bloom on this one. Everyone have a blessed day.